Why Finn Balor needs to leave the Judgment Day. Let's watch.
Finn is now driven.
It's been 2 years since Finn Balor joined the Judgment Day. On June 6, 2022, the direction of the group completely changed when Finn Balor joined, only for him, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest to turn on Edge. And just like that, they went from being a supernatural kind of group to what we know them as today. It seemed like a crazy idea to kick Edge out that quickly, but the decision was a great one. It turned the Judgment Day into the number 2 faction in this awesome era of WWE, only behind the Bloodline. The lineup of Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio was perfect, and JD McDonough plays the role of the much needed fall guy. But what's the biggest issue with the Judgment Day? We would argue that it hasn't benefited Finn Balor as much as it should have. We'd even go as far as to say that he's benefited the least out of everyone in the Judgment Day. Think about this. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley pivoted into main event stardom. Dominic Mysterio became the most hated villain in WWE, and even JD McDonough benefits
Everybody
in the
has
sense
a place.
that he gets regular TV time, something he wouldn't get if he wasn't in the Judgment Day.
Have something.
While Finn Balor may have had 2 reigns as one half of the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, he should probably be in a bigger and better role by now. We can point out 2 exact moments that negatively affected him. Being on the losing end of rivalries against Edge and Seth Rollins. But apart from just that, WWE may have made a mistake by not giving him some sort of leadership role in the early stages of the Judgment Day. We get that the Judgment Day always explicitly stated that they had no leader, but in time, the dynamic eventually plays out in a way that
Yeah, because what he's been doing lately is like low-key protecting Dom from Liv. Like, no.
organically reveals who the leaders are. That role seems to have fallen to Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, with Rhea's success in particular making her the biggest star of the group. In her absence, Damian Priest appears to have taken the de facto leadership role. By peer numbers alone, Finn Balor is the most experienced star in the Judgment Day. Sure, he might only have 4 years of experience on Damian Priest, but in 2022, nobody in the Reformed Judgment Day lineup had as much experience on the big stage as Balor did. Maybe Finn Balor just doesn't have the same kind of presence to impose that type of leadership, but it would have been worth trying. Instead, he's been the number 3 guy in the group and has remained that way the entire time. Getting to the 2 previously mentioned rivalries, the one against Edge hurt Finn Balor a lot. To remind those who have forgotten or didn't watch Raw during that time, Edge getting kicked out of the Judgment Day led to a long feud against Finn Balor. Finn Balor beat him at Extreme Rules 2022 by forcing him to say "I quit," and then teamed up with Rhea Ripley to lose against Edge and Beth Phoenix at Elimination Chamber a few months later. In the match to end it all, Edge faced Finn Balor in his demon form in a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania. Considering that Edge was an already established legend who had nothing to lose even with a defeat, everybody thought that this would be one of Balor's defining WrestleMania moments. Instead, Edge beat him to win the rivalry. The decision felt completely counterproductive, especially when you remember that Edge and Beth Phoenix already got their revenge from the Extreme Rules incident. Finn Balor had way more to gain by winning that match, but for some reason, it just didn't happen. It was part of an unfortunate ongoing trend where Edge, aka Adam Copeland, always gets the last laugh in his rivalries unless your name is Roman Reigns. The decision seems even crazier when you remember that Edge left WWE just 5 months later. With his World Heavyweight Championship feud against Seth Rollins, it's kind of a different story. The entire premise of that rivalry was that Finn Balor had his Universal Championship win at SummerSlam 2016 taken away from him because Seth Rollins had injured him. It led to a couple of matches at Money in the Bank and SummerSlam 2023, where Finn Balor looked to have his full circle moment, his 7-year itch to get revenge against Seth Rollins. It would have been great to see him defeat Seth Rollins to have that moment, but in hindsight, him losing was the right decision. Had he have won the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, it wouldn't have had the same ramifications that Seth Rollins' world title run had. We most likely would have seen a short-term story with the Judgment Day being forced to split or Balor getting prematurely kicked out. We're still in a fairly new era in WWE, but it seems obvious that the memo is to focus on long-term, well-paced storytelling rather than just rushing it. But now that nearly a year has passed since then, and Balor has just touched 2 years with the Judgment Day, it seems like it's the right time and place for him to make that exit. The story
right
writes
now he kind of
itself.
feels like a sidekick.
The Judgment
to
Day is in
Damian.
complete chaos right now, despite Damian Priest holding Raw's top title. Rhea Ripley's absence has left a bit of a vacuum, allowing Liv Morgan to seemingly inject herself in for reasons unknown as of now. Dominic Mysterio is injured, and JD McDonough is, well, JD McDonough. A lot of people have forgotten that in the second half of last year, Damian Priest and Finn Balor were having some issues that threatened to tear the Judgment Day apart. They managed to put aside their differences towards a common goal in the Tag Team Championships, but the circumstances are different now. This time, Finn Balor needs to finally put his foot down and assert his position as the one who needs to lead the Judgment Day. To add some legitimacy to his claim, WWE needs to have Finn Balor go on a quiet winning streak that speaks for itself. He should be the one keeping the Judgment Day relevant, whether Damian Priest is still the World Heavyweight Champion or not. Obviously, the story would have to culminate in him either deciding to leave the Judgment Day or him getting kicked out. We'd go for the first option to give him a better launching pad to be a great single star again. Finn Balor is still great in his role with the Judgment Day, don't get us wrong, but it still feels like he has a lot left to achieve in his already Grand Slam champion career, and it's unlikely that he can achieve it while still being with the Judgment Day. On the flip side, he could simply be happy in his role while getting paid really well and enjoying time on the road with his friends. Either way, it's a win-win for him. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments
If he
below.
were to leave,
Should Finn Balor leave the Judgment Day?
I don't know. I gotta keep watching for me to give an opinion on that, because right now it does seem kind of awkward with him, especially with the whole Dom and Liv stuff and his relationship with Damian. It is a little bit weird, a little rocky sometimes, but I don't know. I can't see how he would leave right now if he were to leave. Would he just be tired of like what's going on with them, like the injuries and him kind of like having to pick up some of the slack? I don't know. I can't really say right now, but we'll see if it happens when that day comes, how that plays out. But that's gonna do it for this reaction. Make sure to leave some likes and comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Toodles.